Assalamu alaikum, peace everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Strange Ink Show. I am so happy that you are here with me. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We begin in the name of Allah. And today's episode, we're going to be answering questions like, what do you do if you feel unmotivated to write because of what is happening in the world? What do you do when you're feeling this lack of inspiration? What do you do when you feel guilty for feeling inspiration, right? And these are all such normal feelings to have. And in today's episode, inshallah, we're going to talk a little bit about how we can meet that need of expressing ourselves and how we can do it in a way which benefits ourselves and other people around us, inshallah. So,
your voice has power.
Before we jump in, I just want to share something in regard to why we might be feeling this way in the first place, why we might be feeling this lack of motivation to write, and when that motivation comes, why we feel like as if we shouldn't be writing, we should be up there in protests and sharing and resharing and all of these things which are important, which are crucial to spread information, because that is what needs to be done, right? Information is power, right? In order to empower people, in order to know what they need to do in order to help a situation. But what about when your superpower is writing? What about when your talent is to craft a message that can touch the hearts of people in a way that no other way can really do, right? What if your way of making a difference is in telling a story, in sharing a poem, in writing something so profound and so powerful in your own way? And in order to do that, there's this huge block that you feel you can't pass. And then you feel like as if, okay, I feel like I'm doing nothing to help the situation. So I'm going to keep resharing and rewatching the videos, feeling the pain and resharing and watching the videos and feeling the pain. And then it's just this cycle that keeps happening. And then you don't write what is important for you to write in order to really spread your way of awareness to the world, right? And now, before I dive into what you can do about that, inshallah, and how you can write again, inshallah, and write your important words, it's important to understand that there are two types of writer's blocks. And there are many opinions on this, but the two types of writer's blocks, number one, it's called writer's breath. I call it writer's breath because it is literally something that isn't permanent. It doesn't feel permanent. It just feels very temporary. You literally just need to take a breath. You just need to breathe. You just need to take a walk, spend some time away from whatever writing project you're working on. And then you can come back and you're fresh-minded and you are ready to go. And that is writer's breath. It's easy to move through. But the second type of writer's block is something which is a little bit more deeper. And it is more on an emotional level. And there are different types of this as well. But the type that I'm going to talk about today is something which is called the wounded self. Now, the wounded self is a description of trauma, right? And that is a very, very fitting description for what is happening in the world right now. As we are watching these videos, as we are experiencing these difficult feelings, as we are feeling nothing at times, some of us feel numb, right? As we are feeling this lack of inspiration, again, that guilt, as we are feeling all of these things, right? It's important to understand that there is this trauma that is happening in the world. It is a collective trauma that we are going through together. So how do we work through it? And it's important to work through it, because when we don't work through our pain and we don't work through all of these feelings, then what will happen is it will get stuck inside of our bodies and it will come out in other ways which would hurt us instead of help us. And that is where expressive writing comes in, which is the topic of this whole episode. So what is expressive writing, right? Expressive writing is a form of writing. Rather than focusing on events and things, what we focus on is feelings and emotions, right? And it could be physical feelings, it could be sensory, it could be the five senses, or it could be something which is much more deeper emotionally, if you're able to talk about that. And the point of that is that when we work through and we write down these feelings, and specifically the way we do it at Strange Ink, we do it in a community atmosphere. More details will be inshallah attached to this video wherever it is posted for you to find out how you can get involved in that. It's called the Writer's Block. But the way we do it is we do it collectively at Strange Ink, a space for sisters where we work through difficult emotions using expressive writing, so we can write through all of these things that we are feeling and experiencing. And we do it together in a group. Literally, after someone shares, we will say, we hear you. And we don't give feedback. We try not to give feedback as they are sharing, as a sharing session is going on. And we'll leave the feedback until the end if we really feel like we want to comment on something that was said, right? So that's what expressive writing is, and that's how we do it in Strange Ink, because we believe it is a collective trauma we are experiencing as Muslims, as people who feel close to Palestine, as people who are human, who see what is happening to the people in Palestine, the children, especially as mothers, as women, and just being and seeing this. So it's important that we have a safe space where we feel like we are with other people who are on the same wavelength really as you are, and they are able to hold space for you and listen to you whilst you share your difficult emotions that you have written through expressive writing. And inshallah, once you work through it, and it isn't just a 1-time or a 2-time or a 3-time thing, and once you work through these emotions and these feelings and all of these things and kind of like untangle them, and we do it together, then what happens is you are able to think in a way that is clear, and you are able to really create something powerful and profound in order to help or spread awareness in some way, which is a form of helping the situation specifically in Palestine, because that is what is happening right now. But if you are watching this video in the future, then Allahu Alam what other issues are going to be happening, and this issue will be ongoing for a very long time, so it's always going to be relevant. So that is what expressive writing is, and that is how we do it as an organization. And it's important to also understand that we must be kinder to ourselves in understanding that these are difficult times. I mean, compared to people who are in the midst and the thick of it, the trauma that they are going through right now is not okay. It is never okay. And I had a conversation, subhanAllah, discussion with one of our members of the Writer's Block, and she said that people say they're okay in Palestine. And I'm so happy that she mentioned that, because it's true. It doesn't feel like they are okay. Once this fog lifts of pain, of all of the things, right, then they will go through difficult emotions trying to process their own trauma, right? They are literally in the midst of it. And we are witnessing that here from where we are, from our videos, from some of the media that is able to have been shared. But then there are also people who are doing amazing things in collaborating and having people share words on Palestine and etc. So it's important to understand just to be kinder to ourselves. And what the world needs right now is you focused, you strong, and you conscious, and you ready to write a message that will touch the hearts in a way that no other message is really able to, or longer lasting. And that is where your storytelling, inshallah, will come in. That is where your poetry and your prose and whatever method of writing that you use will come in. And it is important. And that is why we need you to be you, and we need you to be here, and we need you to share your message with the world, inshallah, in a powerful way. And that is not to say that we avoid the difficult emotions. In fact, when we avoid the difficult emotions, the whole point of this expressive writing that we do is that we work through the emotions, we feel the emotions, because emotions that are not felt are either acted out or they are spoken out. And sometimes when we are in denial of those feelings, we'll end up hurting more than helping, and we'll end up judging more than doing anything else that we really need to be doing. We should be unifying, right? We should be together in a community. We should be building each other up and not destroying each other. And I pray that we are able to do that. I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully we'll have you join us at the writer's block. It is free for this month, inshallah. We just had one free session that has gone by. We have another one, which is a silent writing session. And then at the end of the month, we are going to have a final live writing session, which is free for anyone who wants to join, just so we can offer you that space that you so need and I so need. It is a member-led space where we can work through these difficult emotions, inshallah, and hopefully come back home to ourselves, right? And when we are home, that is when we are going to be able to, like I said, create something important and something very relevant and something that is longer lasting, inshallah, from a place of knowledge, insight, and power. Okay, Jazakallah khair for being here with me today. And as always, after an episode of the Strange Ink Show, let's put our hands on our hearts and say Bismillah, and say it with me. My voice has power. My voice has power. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Have a beautiful and blessed day.